The second tip is basically to read more papers for perspectives.
There's difference between text and papers. Text is the actual textbook.
That's right. In case the JC students out there, right, are thinking, hey, how do we set essay questions? All right. So, the university libraries actually have a lot of critical reading papers. Or even today, right, in the age of technology and internet, right, academic papers are very widely available on the net, online. So what you want to do is, whatever text you're studying, just go online and search for it. Okay, don't buy Cliff Notes, Sparks Notes, whatever notes, right? They are written by university undergraduates. So yes, they may be elaborative enough, but they will not give you perspective. You want to read perspective, you read academic papers. So my friend who scored a B at the end of the day did not finish reading one of her other texts called Fistful of Colors, right? She also managed to get a B, primarily because she read academic papers. If you read papers who have been written by the undergrads, yes, you may get some perspectives. They may be more current, but think about it. Where do they get the references from? They also get it from the master's people, right? The people who have written this paper at the master's level. So, read academic papers, go for the masters, or even go for those people who have graduated in that domain of studies. JSTOR is like basically the library for most of our references that we do in schools. So it's a good platform. I think you can sign up for free and get up to 5 papers in a month or a week free. So be very selective and very judicious about the way you select your papers.
Are there any other platforms that you would recommend students to get to get these cheat sheets?
Don't say I say one. So mostly I use JSTOR, ProQuest, the ResearchGate houses a lot of good papers. You basically can download for free. You don't even have to sign up, basically. You can basically search for the keywords, search for the text that you're looking for, and then just click enter, and then a long list of it will basically appear. But some of it can be quite laborious to read. So another way under this particular tip is to read the introduction and read the conclusion to determine whether or not this paper deserves to be printed.
What are your tips for students who don't like to read? Even if you give them a cheat sheet, they will tell you that, Mr. Chew, no time, how
YouTube is very prevalent as well. YouTubers are exploding as we move in the 2020s. So YouTube has a wide breadth of undergrads who are showing their knowledge, sharing their knowledge rather with the wider community. So that will be one platform. And if you are too lazy to even read your text, then watch the movie lah. If you read at least you get some sort of critical perspectives from the directors themselves. Not all are relevant. You need to find the right ones though.
Okay.
Watch the 1995 version.
Or watch the older versions.
Yes, the older versions.
Is it true that the older they are, the closer they are to the original text?
More often than not, yes.
Okay.
They are an abstract of the text. They will not be exactly the same, but they are an abstract from the text. But because directors, right, they have a propensity to basically insert the perspective of life or the knowledge of things from the lens, and then you insert it through the books. So an example would be Richard III from King Lear. It is entirely similar in terms of the speech, but the context of the war that it was placed in is entirely modern. Whereas King Lear was written, some 200 or 300 years ago.
Wow. Nice.
Yeah, so the older it is, the more relevant it would be.
We'll be moving on to a participant's question, Christine. So what separates a good lead essay from an excellent one?
In my opinion, I think what really separates a grade B and a grade A is the critical perspective and the personal response. So one of the band in the marking scheme is that to induce personal response where possible. So a student who is likely to have very good structure in his or her paper would generally and of course if it is well structured and logical, would generally fall under the band D, even with some sort of personal critical analysis. But a person with very personal response to feel to in terms of the points made would more likely than not fall under the band A, because there are a lot of personal interpretation, as well as engagement with the text itself, as much as the writing itself. So that basically separates a good B standard lead paper as well from the A standard lead paper.
So what you're trying to say is get different perspectives and actually pulling them together to form your own personal interpretation.
That is right. So if you fail to read your text, go to tip number 2, because read papers, you sure get perspectives, right? then, because you must understand, it is at the A level. It is tough for a JC student at this point of time to understand the rigor of the assessment. Okay, but you must also understand these assessments are doable. All right. So if you lack perspectives, read papers for perspectives so that you can actually insert into your papers. More often than not, which is why also my friend who did not finish her text managed to get a B, because she had that perspective to insert it into the entire essay.